How do you develop a strong inner circle? How do you win a relay race with your team? Because that's what's going to get you to the whole new level. It's going to take you where you're not at right now. And this is where Mark and I want to serve you today, because we have been working on this. Please understand, we don't have it down yet, so we're not coming to you as doing this perfect, but we're coming to you saying we're getting good at it.
I've been with John for 17 years. The last 7 years, I've been his CEO. And John's been mentoring me literally weekly for the last 7 years, running his businesses. And you've been mentoring me.
Yes.
And you've been passing the baton off, and there's been a couple of times he took the baton back. Thank you very much.
It's just because you dropped it.
Yeah, something like that.
I just picked it up.
And there's been moments of great transition. There's been great moments of learning. But it's almost like now, even on the stage today, you are helping me with succession. And what occurred to me today, as I was just even thinking about sharing, you mentor in the area of your weaknesses. That's not calling you a weak business leader, but that's something that I do,
yeah.
and it's not your strength zone. But you succeed in the area of your strengths. And what we've been working on over the last few weeks and last few months is some succession things, even in moments like this. And I will say this, because I always say this: to carry your mic, to stand on your platform is an incredible honor. And you've done that in this session today. You do that right now. But I don't take that lightly, because I know that's not easy for a guy that is good at running to hand the baton at the high point of the run, at the time when the run is the best. And we're on a run right now.
Yeah.
Our 6 companies are on a run. And for John, at the high point of his career, to be having this conversation with all of us is an amazing thing that I appreciate. And I want you to know that. I greatly appreciate it. So we're going to talk, I'm done, but we're going to talk about 9 things that I asked John to give me. And he's a better teacher than I, so he's going to teach on them, and I'll give a little color commentary. But note this: I'm going to give 9 things that I told you I needed from you, because he needs 10 things from me. So I got his list first, and then I cut one of mine because I wanted to have one less. Because when I'm receiving something from my mentor, I believe I should ask for one thing less than what he is asking for. So we'll start with my 9. You'll talk a little bit about it, and I'll give a little color commentary.
This is good, isn't it, huh? I'm ready to go. And Mark, I'm telling you, when we're teaching this stuff, again, we're just candidly opening up our life and what we're learning from each other. But every leader needs to look at his or her people and ask one question: what's it like to be on the other side of me? Because I don't see myself clearly. So when we talk about expectations, one of the things it does, it helps with awareness. Because many times when I'm mentoring him, I become very aware of what I don't do well and where I am very deficient and where he can help me make it up. So as he said, he needs a little less of me than I need of him. But the first thing Mark needs from me, and he brought this up first. I mean, I think this was number 1 to you. I mean, I'm not sure that all of them are in order, but this one I think was his number 1. He said, John, I need proximity. If I'm going to run your companies, I got to be close to you, because I got to know your heart. I've got to watch you in the flesh out leadership. I don't need just to hear from you or read from you. I need to watch you. You know, people do what people see. And so Mark said, I want to be close to you. And so we're very close. In fact, he travels with me most of the time. And that is our main mentoring time. Now, we're in contact every day by phone. But when he's with me, I just am able to flesh out things for him that help him. And I look at him a lot of times, and I basically ask him, because you're close to me, Mark, I'll say, do you have everything you need from me to move forward? Because what I've got to do is I've got to serve him. And so whenever we're on a phone call, Mark, what can I do to serve you? What do you need from me? What can I do to help you? Because I know that the quicker I can get what he needs from me over to him, the more he can have the empowerment and the thrust that he needs to make it happen. So proximity is the first thing, Mark.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been with John for 17 years, and some of us, it takes a long time to learn. But I watched all of my predecessors, people that had led in my position before me, and as I was watching these men, these women lead, I began to notice when they lost effectiveness in your organization. And again, I kind of like what I do, so I took notes. And one of the things that I noticed is the further they got away from the founder, the visionary, the more they began to stray in their strategy and the less effective they were, not necessarily in profit margin, but in connecting that profit margin to the vision. And so again, not being the sharpest tack in the town, I wanted to stay a little longer than the other guys. So I said, hey, John, I really need proximity. And of course, you've given me that. But let me say one more thing on proximity. Right now, John and I, in a couple of our organizations, we've made a decision. 2 weekends ago, we canceled 10 of my travel engagements with you between now and the end of the year.
Yeah.
My first comment to John was, John, how do I make sure we stay close to each other? And so we don't make decisions, even if they're temporary decisions, of not being on a trip or not having a conversation without putting a plan together to make sure that we stay in proximity. And again, I can't thank you enough because I'm your shadow. I'm with you all the time. But that's the only way succession, that's the only way handing off a baton is going to work. Have you ever watched a relay to where they went, hey, you, up there, catch, and keep running? There is no way to have a handoff if we're not close to each other in proximity.
That's beautiful. And yeah, I'll say this, Mark. When you said you wanted proximity to me and we started traveling together, I used to look forward to what I was going to do to help people on the trips. Now I have a double kind of a deal. I look at what I'm going to do to help people that I'm going to go speak for or teach or whatever, but I also look forward to what I'm going to be able to do to help you and me as far as our relationship. So it's almost like, wow, I get to be with Mark again, so I get to pour into him because remember this, everything you pour into the people that are empowered and carrying the load for you, it all comes back in a high return.